Hi and welcome back to the Knights HQ podcast, brought to you by Maxwell Recruitment and Training. Highly skilled labour hire, real world training from engineering, trades, construction to office administration. Matt Croker.
JJ.
How are you?
Good to be back, mate.
Mate, always good to be back on the podcast. Always good to be here with you. And today we have a very special guest, mate. I'm going to give it to you. You can intro the great man.
Well, last week we had one of our barnstorming front rowers on DSAF on his 150th.
Yep.
And we got his front row partner with Leo Thompson. Thanks for joining the podcast, mate.
Hear the voice.
If you're talking barnstorming, we're really bringing the barnstorming level up over the last 2
forwards recently. How you doing, my boy?
I'm good, brother.
Yeah, good. Enjoying your footy?
Oh, loving it at the moment.
Yeah. Going real well, bro. You haven't missed a game all season.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty fresh this year. Like, the two boys, I reckon they helped heaps.
Yeah.
Time last year, I was pretty burnt out.
Yeah. Do you put it down to anything, bro? Just the buyers, or maybe just that second year in top grade?
Yeah, I reckon it's just a bit of experience.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to prep for a game. Mostly mentally, I reckon. I was burnt out mentally last year, and I feel heaps more fresh this time, you know.
Yeah, this year.
Was it was sitting down getting your half of your leg tatted up? Was that part of the the therapy, the freshening up?
This tattoo gives me a bit of mana.
Yeah, for sure.
No. Yeah.
No, beautiful, mate, beautiful. Look, we're going to start today with asking you a few get-to-know questions. This obviously helps our audience and the members and the fans that listen, that might not know a little bit about you, sort of a few things.
Yep.
Now, look, this can be quick fire. You can elaborate, whatever you want to do. So, mate, the first one we've got here is your junior club or clubs.
Yeah, so my junior club, I had a few junior clubs. I lived all over the place growing up. But where I spent most of my time was called Napier Maris, playing union.
Yep.
And I was there till I was about 12, I think, and then you play for your high school.
Yeah. So in New Zealand, obviously.
Yeah.
What did you play more of growing up, union?
Yeah, I hadn't played a game of league till I moved over to Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And then you come over to the Raiders. We'll talk about that a bit later, but you come straight to the Raiders, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was your first time in league?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Crazy. All right, my second little question here. Proudest off-field achievement so far?
Proudest off-field achievement.
Other than meeting Matt Croker.
So it wouldn't even be top 1,000.
I don't know. It's not really my achievement, but probably my nieces and nephews are.
Yeah, no, that's mad. I would say the same thing. I would legit say the same thing, being an uncle.
Yeah.
My sister just had another kid last week.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hectic.
Same.
How good is it, eh? Yeah, that honestly, that would be mine. Being an uncle.
How many nieces and nephews do you have now?
So there's 3 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah, nice.
We were talking about this the other day in the change room about how, like, when you go over there, you just want to spoil them. And my niece is only 9 months, so she sort of like she doesn't talk or anything really, but she's the best. So
I'm the same. My brother just had a kid, my younger brother.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think I think it's around the same age, around sort of 9 months, 6 months, 9 months-ish. And it's the best.
Yeah.
When it's not your kid, like I got 2 of my own.
Yeah, I could imagine.
You get all the fun and then just hand it back. Go, it's all on you, bro.
Yeah, get to spoil them, so I can't wait till she's a bit older, take her treats and stuff.
Mate, have you got any pets? Or would you like a pet if you don't have one?
Yeah, I'd like a pet. I live in a townhouse at the moment, so I can't really have them. But
there's a bit of a dog pandemic going through the boys, right?
The boys are all getting dogs and stuff, eh? Would you get a dog?
Yeah, I want a dog.
Yeah, can't.
But, I don't want to look like I'm following all the boys.
Yeah.
It seems like they're all jumping on the bandwagon at the moment.
It's a bit of a fad, running around the club at the moment. Sporting heroes or idols growing up? This could be, you could have like a sporting hero and then maybe an idol, someone you looked up to away from.
Yeah, Sonny Bill.
Sonnyville, yeah.
He played rugby and league, and he's just the man.
Yeah, of course. He's a world icon.
Yeah, we were talking about that, weren't we? Yeah.
He's beyond sport. Like, he's massive.
I think when we did the potty with B-Mac, he was telling us
about when he signed him over in Tyrone.
Yeah, how big it was and how many people watched his first game when they signed him and all that sort of stuff. You forget how big he is outside of Australia and New Zealand.
What about an idol away from footy or away from union?
I know I look up heaps to my old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taught me heaps, and he's I reckon the mindset that I have, I've learnt from him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good man, your old man.
Yeah.
I met him a couple of weeks ago when he was down here.
Yeah.
He's telling me about his time over in Chile because my mother's Chile. Yeah.
They're saying you look like them. Like.
Yeah. Well, Dom and that all said that. It's crazy.
Mate, last TV series you watched, and if you didn't watch a TV series, we'll give it movie. Last movie you watched.
Last, Footsy got me onto one. What was it? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
A magical one.
Okay. It mustn't have been very good.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Is that the one where there's like the
shadow thing?
Yeah, the dust in between and stuff. Yeah. It's on.
He got me onto that, and it was all right. Pretty average.
It's called like Shadow and Bone or something like that. Yeah.
Shout out Fitzy.
There you go.
We have a good track record of everyone not liking each other's TV show recommendations on this podcast.
Yeah, last episode we all got stuck into each other. Got a bit defensive.
Hey, mate, we did touch on it before, but let's talk about your journey to league. And we did, as I said, touch on it before with you. Grew up playing Union in New Zealand. Yep. Talk us about the transition from New Zealand to the Raiders and the Raiders to the Knights. How did that all come about?
So I moved out of home and moved down to Wellington, and I was in the Hurricane system. And then I was playing local footy with Charlie Gubb.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I was telling him how much I wanted to test out league and that.
Yeah.
Forgot all about it, and he went and contacted the Raiders just to watch a couple of my games. And then the week after, I played in a one-off union match for the Māoris under-20s against the Fiji under-20s. And the Raiders, Pete Mulholland, who was the recruitment manager at Raiders, he watched that game and then contacted me the week after that game.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
But I had forgotten all about it. Like, when he called me, he was just like, oh, yeah, Charlie gave me your number. And I was like, shocked.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I even hit Charlie up for that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And then, so what was it the next year you got contracted there? Or
So the end of that year, I went to the Raiders to do a pre-season.
Yeah.
And then, I did the NRL pre-season, and then I played about 2 20s games, and then the season got canned.
Yeah, so this is the 2020 season, yeah. So that was when COVID just went nuts, yeah.
Was it cool in round one going back to Wellington to play this year in the Hurricane Stadium?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I just made that link.
Didn't even
Yeah. So that would have been a bit of a full circle moment for you, man.
I've played at their stadium before, so it was a bit of a buzz for me.
Have you ever played league there or only ever union?
No, union.
Only ever union.
Yeah, hectic. Yeah, sorry, I just put those dots together when you were talking about it.
So you spent a couple of years down at the Raiders, and it's just mental, isn't it? Because that's the year when COVID hit. So you move over here to play league, and there's no league competitions because of COVID. So it just would have been the weirdest situation for you.
Yeah. So I played a couple games, and then season got canned, and then so all the Kiwi boys that were living around Canberra, they moved us all into the share house where they would usually have all the younger boys.
Yep.
And we just hung around and all worked together, the demolition together.
Oh, yeah, so you were working at the time?
Yeah. So then we just hung around and just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then, we were just working and training, doing our own training and that. And then I ended up getting called back into full training at the end of the year.
Yeah. And then so leading into the 2021 season, you were full-time for that whole year with the Raiders?
Yeah.
Because we versed each other one day.
Yeah.
Remember? Down at Wagga, yeah. So what was that like, mate? Because that would have been your full first year as a professional athlete.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that, like just being able to train and not worrying about working in there.
Yeah.
Putting all my effort into training.
Yeah. Were you ever close to maybe getting a debut at the Raiders? You're still relatively young. You would have been about 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I was, that was my first year kind of playing middle, and I was still...
Yeah, still working out the game.
And I still wasn't even playing middle full time.
Yeah.
My first preseason I did as a centre.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
At the Raiders.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then my second one, the 2021 preseason.
Yeah.
I did that as a middle back row kind of.
Yeah.
And then when I played cup, I was even playing in the middle and then sometimes end up at back row or centre.
Because the Raiders pack is notoriously good.
Yeah, they got a pretty solid
so
pack and it's still the same pack
to get
now.
your way into that, every week would have been, a fairly tough task with the talent they have out there. But that got you here to the Knights, which is perfect. So, mate, talk about that going for the Raiders and to where you are now.
So when I started talking to the Knights, that's when everyone went into the bubble up in Sunny Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And I stayed back and I was working, doing demolition.
Yeah, wow.
Went back and started working again. And yeah, that's when I started talking to them and that. And I wasn't too keen to leave, to be honest, at first. But things didn't work out my way.
Yeah,
and then, but once I got here, I knew it was like the best decision I could have made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're loving it, mate, over the last 18 months?
Love it. Love the place, love the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fast forward here. Then you go into the 2022 season, right? And you start doing the pre-season under Adzi and that lot. And then round 1, mate, you get your debut. What was all that like?
Oh, that was buzzy. It was to be honest, I always kind of planned for that.
Yeah.
Like, that was in the back of my mind. Like, I would come over on a development, but I always knew there's always a couple spots there. And that's what I want. That was my goal in the preseason, to try and get upgraded.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, it was buzzy just to, because I didn't expect it to happen round 1.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting it to happen maybe
A couple of weeks in or something.
Or something. But to get the debut on round 1, it was unreal.
Yeah.
Mate, at the start of the year, you represented the Māori All Stars, and was that were you late call up?
Yeah.
Remind me of what happened, because you had to get over there pretty quickly, hey, and get over. Yeah, tell us about that experience.
So Benny Gardner, he gave me a text at about 10 at night saying like, "Oh, hey mate, it's the Māori's coach Benny Gardner. Give me a call." And I left it for about half an hour. Took it to my missus, and I was like, "Nah, one of the boys are jigging me up."
Yeah.
I'm not calling it a jig me up. But then, I called it because I was like, whatever.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, might as well. And he got in touch with him, and he told me that I'm in. And
So what happened? Because did someone go down or something?
yeah, I think there was a few injuries in there.
Yeah.
Might have been a few of the Roosters boys got injured.
Yeah, and then the game was played over in NZ, right?
Yeah, in Rotorua. So that's where that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
That's where
awesome.
my grandparents live there. So yeah.
How did you have a fair crew there?
Yeah, I had all my family came, and it's the first time. Well, most of them have watched me play league live.
Yeah, oh yeah, true,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
It's hectic.
Yeah.
So going from that must have been crazy, man, to think about. There was a stage there where it was COVID, no league. I'm on a destruction site working, doing that, and now I'm in the All-Star team, hometown, grandparents are there. That must have been crazy to think that how far you've come in such a short period of time, Yeah, that's amazing. Mate, what's something that, like talking back to sort of what you bring here at the Knights, is there anything that you sort of pride yourself on as number one, the one thing you want to bring to the team, or the one thing you want to bring week in, week out, that I guess is sort of your stamp on the game, or you sort of, you've got your signature sort of thing that you pride yourself on?
Yeah, I kind of, I put a real high standard on myself in my defence.
Yep.
Just like the energy I bring to the boys, I try and bring energy to the boys from my line speed, my inside press, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good. We had media the other day, and we're playing Brisbane this weekend, which is obviously a big challenge for us, especially in the middle because of the class players they have there. But you were being asked about a few of their players, and you were like, "Mate, I just run hard and tackle hard. That's all I worry about." And I think you said it. You said it 3 times over and over again.
Yeah. Like most games, I'll just go and focus on what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, but I just want to jump back, just quickly to the Māori game. Like when you go into those sort of camps, the culture is just driven incredibly. How much the culture did you know sort of before going into the camp? Or, how much of that did you know before you went in there?
I'm pretty like I grew up knowing about my culture and being around my marae and my
because you're proud man,
proud Māori. So like I knew heaps, and there's some boys that don't really know anything, and that's why at the camp, most of the camp's based around culture. We might have trained twice, maybe.
Yeah.
And the rest is about connecting, and
So how special was that? When you got the call, I just want to take it back. Like when you got the call, do you call your mum and dad and say like this is happening? This is.
Well, I try to call my old man, but 10 o'clock here, it's 12 o'clock. Everybody was awake.
Yeah,
I called him in the morning, and he was buzzing out.
Yeah. And then when he got to see pull on the jersey, I'm guessing that just would have been the maddest moment for him.
Yeah, and just to represent our people, I've played Māori rugby growing up. Like that's where I got picked up from.
Yeah,
I actually played at that stadium where we played. That was the game that the Raiders watched
no,
there you go.
At the Rotorua Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, everything goes full circle.
Yeah. So like Māori rugby is different. It's I don't think you would actually understand unless you're Māori. Like talk about mana.
Yeah.
And it's just different type of footy. I love playing it.
Yeah, that's mad. You see, sorry, mate, you're just talking about like your family in New Zealand a bit before. Some people might not know is you have an identical brother.
Yeah.
Tyrone, he's been over here a bit.
Yeah.
He's a bit bigger than you.
Yeah.
But he's
Dude, I remember when I first met him, and I knew it wasn't you.
yeah.
But I went up to him and said, "Hey, mate, I'm Jay." And I literally, as I put my hand out, I literally second guessed myself and went, have I just introduced myself to Leo again? Like, he's that identical to you. Like, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is this? Yeah, this isn't Leo, right? Yeah,
I
cool.
remember you were fooling all the massage therapists when he walked in. He's like, oh, mate, just give me legs done. And like what people might not know is he plays for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So he's a professional union player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
They're actually in the quarterfinals this weekend.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, quarterfinals this weekend.
Yeah, wow.
Their season finishes soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up with him? Was it always a bit of competition? Because you're the older brother, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, growing up with him, we're always competing.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we first started lifting weights and I'd try and put on an extra 10 kgs or whatever. He'd go lifting hard. He's telling me, like, bro, you can't even lift that. Trying to one up on him.
That would have been mad.
So you've got your twin plays union. You started in union. What was the thing about league that drew you, mate? What was the thing about it that, there's subtle differences in the sports. There's big differences in the sports. Like, what was the thing that sort of made you wanted to come across code?
I know, watching it, you could see, like, the amount of aggression people had.
Yeah.
And I love that about the game. And that's what I enjoyed when I played union. I enjoyed doing that, like running hard and hitting hard. And in league, I reckon there's more of that in a game of league than there is in union.
Yeah. Did you grow up watching a lot of league?
Not really.
Not really? Yeah.
Not really. Like, even when I moved over to the Raiders, I only knew Josh Papali, and
Yeah, right.
that
Yeah.
was it.
So how hard was it when you first come over and it was like you just got to learn all these completely different set of rules?
It was
like I imagine it would have been so weird. Like you don't have to get back 10 meters in union and stuff like that, and the penalties are so different.
Yeah.
Like, what was all that like?
I think most of it was almost like speaking a different language.
Yeah.
Like I was out there trying to call for the ball, but I don't know. I was saying union terminology.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And nobody knew what I was saying, and so and they'll try and explain things to me, and I couldn't picture it in my head, so I didn't know what they wanted me to do.
Isn't it funny, lad? Like that first year, you play 2 games and the whole comp gets finished. But I guess that time where you weren't playing might have given you a bit of time to study the game. Am I right? Like, would you be watching league?
Yeah, I was watching it heaps. So I was living in a house with all my bros and that.
That were playing league. So isn't that a funny way of like? It's like, oh, now I get to sort of study the game without playing it.
Yeah.
Was there a moment or a game or a training session where you felt like everything sort of clicked over and you went, yeah, I've got it now?
Probably when I came back to this year's preseason. Was when I first, like, we had a training session and I just knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was doing everything like my first thought I was doing it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Last year,
Bit second guessing.
oh yeah, like I'll go to do something, but I'm like, oh, should I do that?
Yeah.
So like this year's the first year I felt real confident in my decision and just go and do it.
And it comes out in your footy too. Like the way he's playing is just levels above, you know.
Yeah. Like anything that you do.
Thanks, brother.
you know I'm your biggest fan, bro. You know I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah. Mate, obviously we did touch on it before, but we've got a big game this weekend.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it? What's it like, boys? How's training been this week? What's it feeling like in the group?
I'm keen as. It's probably one of the best trainings we've had all year, I reckon.
Yeah. The week coming off the bye, I remember the last bye was the Parramatta, so we had a point to prove after that, and I think this week we've just been really steely about what we're doing. We've got to go up there. We have a fan day on the Friday, which is tomorrow, and then it's always a good challenge to come up against good sides. And they're a red hot side, you know. They haven't had a bye, and they're still sitting at the top of the ladder. So, you know, me and Leo are in the forwards, and they got good forwards, but we got a pretty good forward pack ourselves too. So
100%.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's mad when you get to play up at Suncorp.
I was going to say, how many times have you played up at Suncorp, Leo?
I might have played there once
Once
Round.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
did you play Brisbane last year?
I didn't play that game.
Oh, no, yeah. Magic Round. Oh, funny story about Magic Round. So we run out, bro.
Yeah.
There's like 48,000 people, like packed out.
yeah.
And they let all these fireworks go off last year, and we were the first game.
Yeah.
All these fireworks going off.
Can't see
Anyway,
anything.
they kick off, and Leo couldn't see anything.
And I was
And 'cause
yelling to the boys, I was like, I can't see
Yeah,
it.
and he's running through the smoke, and Luke Thompson has the carry, and next thing you know, right in front of Leo.
So right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, if you watch the game back, you can actually hear the commentators go, Jesus, it's going to be tough to see with all the smoke out
man,
there.
I'm the same. Every time we play there, because their pre-game thing is always fireworks and crazy stuff.
Can't get any photos.
Yeah, well, it's so smoky, but it's actually the smoke clears actually pretty fast.
Yeah.
With the amount that's there.
Yeah.
Because when it finishes, you go, this will take like 45 minutes. So what's going on?
Do you remember a couple?
first carry, obviously. It's not. It's not.
Do you remember a couple of years ago, Joey Leilua, a fireworks spark got caught in his eye? It was before a semi-final. I don't know
I
if
saw
anyone.
that actually,
Yeah, do you remember that, lad? Yeah. So before a semi-final, like a spark flicked into his eye, and he was playing centre. He couldn't start the game,
Bro.
How mental's that?
That is.
Yeah, so it's always but like you said, it's good to go up to Suncorp. It's a rich history there, so it'll be good.
Yeah, perfect. Now, look, we're going to take a quick break. After this, we'll be back with more with Leo. We've got some fan questions.
Yep.
So stick around. This is Knights HQ.
Score a limited edition Pie Guy long sleeve street tee, general admission to 3 games, and a digital membership card with our Gen K membership. Join the crew at knightshub.com.au.
Welcome back to Knights HQ podcast, brought to you by Maxwell Recruitment and Training. I'm Jay Nelson. I'm here with Matt Croker and our special guest, Leo Thompson. Mate, we've gone out to Insta. Is Instagram, Jimmy? Is that where we went for the questions? Yeah. And we've got some fan questions for you. So here's the first one. This is from Noah Hales. I'm going to say, sorry if I've butchered your last name, Noah Hales.
Oh, it's a bit in this question, actually.
When's that first meat pie coming? Oh,
No comment. Hopefully this weekend.
Yeah. we were just talking about Magic Round. Remember the one you...
Magic Round.
Yeah.
He dropped it
had
over the line.
Phoenix passed it to me about a meter off the line, and I was celebrating.
So, boys, you're both in the middle, and Croaks, you've already gone over.
Well, I've only gone over when I'm in the edge.
Okay,
So-
but that's all right, though.
Yeah.
So, at what point in the season do you just start calling crash plays because you want to get off the nudie?
I remember the DSAF did that last year. Mate, he hadn't had one all year or something.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I'm going to get one. And he just got a couple like crash balls. You could see him going, I'm not doing the nudie run.
Actually got both Croaks and Leo. You both played exactly the same amount of NRL games.
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny that we always sort of, because we make jokes because there's been so many milestones. And
Yeah.
I think we're near 30 or something, and we'll be celebrating DSAF's 150, and we'll walk out and go, well, it's our 28th, but no one says anything.
Was the Cows try your first for the year?
Para.
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 Did you score up in Townsville?
Nah.
In any year?
Yeah, last year.
No. I scored against Raiders last year.
No, but you scored it.
I swear you scored in Townsville.
I've only scored
Maybe
2.
I'm imagining that.
No, it was JSAF, and I was real close. Yeah, I was next to
Were
JSAF.
you the first one to grab him?
yeah,
Yeah, gotcha.
Told KP to kick it too, just quietly. This question is from Renee Clark. Says, do you think you and your twin Tyrone have a telepathic connection? Sorry, bro.
Oh, I don't know.
Anything
Pretty deep, that one.
hard.
Next one, Ava Craft says, what's your favourite game you've ever played? I'm going to say, are we talking
I think we're talking
footy or
I think we're talking
okay.
footy or union.
footy.
Yeah.
Probably my debut game.
Yep.
Like that's one of them. But probably the Penrith game too, the one at home.
Oh, the one.
The
Oh,
one that we
That was
lost.
good, eh?
yeah.
That was probably one of my favourite games, just because it was so tight and
Yeah.
our crowd.
Yeah.
Mouldy one be up there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they'd be up there,
there's a
yeah.
few.
Yeah.
Yeah, Māori one's up there.
I obviously the result didn't go our way, and we really wanted to win that game, and that was the only thing that you could say about that game that
Yeah.
wasn't great. But the thing that I loved about the Penrith game was a lot of the guys that play on this team don't know what the stadium was like back in the day.
Yeah.
And that game was an old school Knights crowd where it was packed.
Yeah.
they're going off their heads. The Newcastle chant goes up even though we didn't win.
Yeah.
It had that feel about it when I was 12 years old with the old man on the hill.
Yeah.
Just for the guys that are in the squad that haven't had that before, for that to happen in that game, I was like, this is awesome, because then it shows you like this is what it's all about. You know what I mean? So
I think
it was
I
really
was
good.
talking to KP the other day about like Origin crowds, and then I was saying, like, I remember running out there, and it was me, Leo, and DSAF. We were the middles, and I remember running out going like, far out, like I don't know what I'm feeling. Like I felt so like a euphoric feeling. This, like, I was just like, this is so hectic. This is. Yeah,
Like,
it was pretty mad. I just remember like my body was just like, oh, this is like what you live for.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like, obviously, we're all really proud of what you guys did that night and how well you played and how hard everyone played.
Yeah.
But as I said, the thing that I got out of it was the guys that haven't had that experience of being in front of a bit of an old school feeling Knights crowd.
Yeah.
To have that, I was like, that's so good. You know, it's always good to, instead of talking about it, you've actually lived it now. What can happen, you know?
Well, I think it was the biggest one in like
26,000 or something.
8
Nuts.
years or something since the McKinnon round.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Last question, my boy, is from Wider, I think you say that name?
Yeah, underscore wider underscore.
Yeah. Leo, can you please stay back after the Brisbane game so I can get your signature? So you got a couple little fans out there, my boy.
Hold up a big sign, brother.
Hey, mate, that's it. That's it. Thanks for coming on today, bro. I really appreciate it, and you're killing it, man.
Yeah,
Let's
boys.
keep going.
Thanks for coming in. Look, good luck for the weekend. Hopefully it's a good game up there and we can get the 2 points.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Look, you can subscribe and leave a review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Our YouTube channel is also up. So the full video versions of these podcasts is up on YouTube. You can subscribe, hit the notification bells so you know when a new video drops. There's also plenty going around at the Knights. So our club website and our social media channels is where you get updated with all that stuff. All of our social media channels, the handle is at NRL Knights. We'd also like to thank once again Maxwell Recruitment and Training for bringing you this episode of the podcast. Thanks again, boys.
Thanks, Leo. Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye.